Twain's decision to make Huck the narrator of his own book appears to have been taken quite casually. In a letter to Howells in 1875, he reported that he had finished Tom Sawyer, but reflected that, "I perhaps made a mistake in not writing it in the first person." Later in the letter he mentioned that, "By and by I shall take a boy of 12 and run him on through life, in the first person, but not Tom Sawyer." Twain's composition of Huck Finn did not exhibit any obvious determination or dedication. He drafted the book over an elapsed period of 8 years, in at least 4 discrete phases. He began writing what he called Huck Finn's autobiography in 1876, but reported to Howells that he liked it only tolerably well, and might possibly pigeonhole or burn the manuscript. He returned to the novel sometime in 1879 to 1880, again put it aside, returned to it again sometime between 1881 and early 1883, again paused, then declared it finished after a final burst of writing in the summer of 1883. Even then, he would not relinquish the manuscript until 1884, after he had worked over it for another 6 months. The discontinuities in Twain's composition reflect major changes in the nature of the book, as Twain encountered unanticipated problems, and responded to each after taking time to think about how he might continue. The longest gap, for example, from 1876 until 1879, occurred just at the point in the manuscript where the raft was destroyed by the steamboat, and marked a shift from a light-hearted adventure narrative to pointed social satire. That Twain had begun Huck Finn as a continuation of the light entertainment of Tom Sawyer is apparent from the summary of the earlier book that Huck provided in the opening paragraphs of his own book. But after the destruction of the raft, the book's tone changed. It is likely that from the beginning Twain had intended to satirize the pre-war South, but the break in his work after 1876 may imply that he found it more difficult than he had expected to reconcile social criticism with the book's adventure form. What Twain had almost certainly not anticipated was yet a further stage in the book's evolution that led to Huck's internal struggle over whether to betray Jim or to continue to defy the South's most basic social conventions by aiding a runaway slave. And it was this unanticipated change that made Huck Finn a classic work.